You're blessed every day that you get to have a workout. Some people say thoughtless things like, I'm just blessed to be alive. Wow, you're not asking much of life if you think merely being alive is a blessing. To me, that's a low standard. Before I get going, I'm gonna put on my hand wraps, which is my usual routine. But today we're privileged because I actually get to put on the Saint in the Center hand wraps, and these are actually the longest hand wraps in the world, literally. And if you fight or if you have ever had the privilege of engaging in a combat sport, even on the training side, you know how important it is to protect your hands. You know, the hand is a very complex part of the human body. You really want to be thoughtful about it. But what I love about these is that they're so thick and it has that nice gauze feel like traditional Mexican hand wraps. Well, this is actually quite nice as well. And of course, it represents something that means something to us. So I'm gonna give you a little tutorial on how to put on hand wraps before I get going with this workout. But first thing I do want to do is acknowledge William, who sent through the Cash App actually. And so once I get these on, I'm gonna grab my phone and acknowledge all the Cash Apps that were sent. Certainly, you all will probably remember that when you send the Cash App, we never miss your super chat because we don't have to filter through everything that people are saying. But of course, peace to the saints. Welcome. I'm gonna make sure we do a lot more of these workouts. Have anything you need to share?
Super chat. We'll get it when we get in the room.
Okay.
Make sure your phone's on loud.
Okay. You're saying it's better to get that one once we get in the room?
Yeah, there's a question. That way you can focus on that.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna do it in silence right now, so just give me the question.
Zach Thurman Duke sent you a super chat. He said, my black box came today. My favorite chapter is Chosen Lead. I realize I must capitalize on my talents and others' talents and simply just put my name in the hat by being vigilant when opportunities come.
Shout out to the saint. His favorite chapter is Chosen Leader. And that chapter in my book is really important because it shows you how who you are, meaning the traits you're displaying over time, how that manifests into the fruits that you will enjoy, and how that accumulates into the respect that others will give you. So I'm glad he's enjoying that work. If you want a low-cost copy of my book, The Black Box, you can get that at www.thesassin.com/the black box. So thesassin.com/the black box. Or you can go onto Amazon.com, type in The Black Box by Marquett Burton, and you'll see that there are over 144 reviews, all 5 stars. So it's a pretty good work. Thank you so much for the support, Saint. Caught up?
Yep.
Fantastic. Now, one thing you guys may not know is when you get a pair of hand wraps, the first time when they're brand new, they're wrapped in this way. I wrap mine's the opposite way before I put them on, and this is very typical. The wrap that I do is one that was taught to me by a professional boxing trainer in Las Vegas, the mecca of the fight game. And this is someone who's been around champions. We're talking Floyd Mayweather, we're talking Sugar Shane Mosley, senior and junior. We're talking, I could just, Caleb Plant, you know, I could just keep going on and on. Benavidez, you name it. And this particular wrap that I use is to protect the hands because I have, you know, hard impact punches due to being, you know, a light heavyweight, so pretty strong comparatively. So now that you've wrapped it the opposite way, you have your thumb loop here. So obviously you'll go ahead and put your thumb through. And you guys know hand wraps are great not only for hitting the bag and working out, but also for lifting. I like to use these when I'm lifting because unlike gloves, you can wash them. And so another thing that you do once you go over the knuckle, you want to make sure that your fingers are spread. You don't want them too tight to cut off your circulation. Then what I do is I hold it here. Then I go back and forth. I do a layer of about 10 units. And this gives you that extra padding over the knuckle, which you're going to need. And this is that unique wrap that Christine showed me. Excellent boxing trainer. How you doing, brother? And this wrap is really good. And even if you look online for how to wrap your hands, you're not going to see this one shown online. And this one is great because we have the extra long wraps. It's easier to do this particular wrap because it takes a lot of gauze to do this one. And the great thing about this particular wrap is that it actually very much so looks like the way your hands will be wrapped when you're going into a professional prize fight, with most of the material being over the knuckle for protection. 7. So I get it down to about 8 to 10 loops. It depends on the size of your hands. My hands are about larger than most fighters, and I'd say about average size for a light heavyweight. Tuck the lines neatly. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Do we get Wi-Fi?
Should.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to go up here.
Yeah, live right.
I tried my Wi-Fi house not working.
Oh, you were on Wi-Fi. Okay. We gotta get you a new plan. Let me know when we're back cracking. Is it still saying the same thing? Did you click reconnect?
Yes. You might do it.
Okay. All right. We're back? Okay, cool. So you guys may have missed some, but I'm pretty much wrapped up here. And, some people, because they don't have enough length on their hand wrap, they don't get down the wrist like this, and you should always get down the wrist because where you're taking most of your impact on the punch is on the wrist. So you want to make sure that you have that extra protection. So we got the dual protection of the heavy padding on the knuckles, and also we get to come way down the wrist because we have an extra long wrap. We all caught up? The Cash App is #MARQUETT. So again, we're going to go through this little process of wrapping them backward, which is anytime you get a new wrap, you're going to have to do that. And the great thing about what I'm showing you is you're going to have to wrap your own hands for the most part unless you're a professional fighter. And even if you are a professional fighter, you are going to train a lot. You're going to be doing 2-a-days, 3-a-days leading up to fights, especially if you're cutting weight. So you're not going to have a trainer around to wrap your hands. So you need to know how to wrap your hands appropriate like so.
We have Samson Lowell sent a super chat. He said, "Peace to the Saints. Have a great workout. Shout out from London."
Peace to the Saints. Shout out to the bruv in London. I can't wait to get out there, of course, when the weather's lovely. And another thing I really want to lead this lecture with is mindset. Before you do anything in life, mindset is the beginning of that activity, which is to say that you have to take yourself through the entire experience in your mind before you engage it. Even when I go for a run, if I'm going to run with someone else and we've agreed to go on a 6-mile run, in my mind, I set my mind to a 10-mile run so that I'm prepared for anything that might happen. I'm prepared for if we get to the 6th mile and the other guy says, "Oh, hey, let's do an extra mile," and they want to stunt, I'm like, yeah, no problem. Because in my mind, I already said it was going to be a 10-mile run, which is to say, if your mind is not prepared for what you're going to do, then the body will not follow. And even beyond that, when I'm going into a tough workout, like today will be a tough workout because let's say I need to get back into elite shape. But not only do I get control of my mind and tell it how hard we have to work today, but I also build into my mind the idea that after the workout, I'm not going to crash. After the workout, I have to shower immediately, stretch, and then get back to work because I got other things to do. When you forget to prepare your mind for the wholeness of what has to happen, you're going to be weak. Preparation is not only of the physical, but also of the mental and spiritual.
Okay, we have Neil Hall. He sent a super chat. He said, "Peace to the Saints."
Peace to the saints.
We have Kid Cool 1827 sent a super chat. He said, "Peace to the Saints. Just curious, how old are you?"
My official age is 29. Okay, so as I said, I do at least 10 loops over the knuckles. And with my right hand being my stronger hand, having a lot more power on this one, I always make sure that I put a little more padding over the knuckles on this side. And if you ever train boxing, especially if you're a male and you have some decent strength, you really want to use tie-up gloves instead of those Velcro gloves. Now, certainly the Velcro gloves might be a little cheaper, and it's easier to use them because you don't need someone else to tie them. But over time, you'll find that your wrists will be a lot stronger with the tie-up gloves because it gives you that stability. And it's what the pros use, whether they're sparring or obviously actually going into an official bout. And if you do anything, do it like you're doing it for TV, right? Okay, let's see how many loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as we said, this is the world's longest hand wrap at 240 inches, which is why we have enough of the material and gauze to do all of this protection over the knuckle, as well as a significant amount of protection and stability around the wrist. So now that I've done about 10 loops, I then go over the knuckle and I pull this pretty tightly. I go in between the fingers, I come over, and notice I'm not wrapping around the hand. I want the in front of the hand to not have much around it so that I can close my hands very tightly. Closing that hand tightly is extremely important. When you throw a punch and your hand is not closed tightly, you are risking injury. Now, some trainers will tell you when you throw the jab and you flick the jab, you want your hand open to get it there faster, but that's more of a feint, or that's when you're not trying to land the jab with intention. So I highly recommend that you close that hand for your own health and protection. Another mistake a lot of people make, even trainers, is that when they're coming around the wrist, see now I'm coming around the wrist, they make the wrap too tight. And if the wrap is too tight, it's going to cut off your circulation and your hands will go numb. Trust me, I know, because I've had this happen before fights. You really don't want to experience that. So if you're ever getting your hands wrapped up by someone and it's too tight around the wrist and you're going numb, you should make sure you tell them immediately because it won't get better. So there you go. You have like significant padding here on front of the knuckle. We have enough length to get over the wrist. And the great thing is because you have this material here, when I lift or do pull-ups, I just use my hand wraps instead of gloves.
Do we need earphones?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get gloved up and get to this work. We all caught up? No. Okay, talk to me.
We have Matthew, he said a super chat, he said peace to the saints.
Peace to the saints.
We have Cameron Mosley, he said peace to the saints, and I will catch the live stream later.
Fantastic. All caught up?
Yeah.
Cool. And me, as you guys know, we're going to come out with a boxing shoe because on the market right now, you don't have good products in this sport. For example, these Nikes I have, which are very expensive shoes, would you believe that the toe is splitting? You see the toe right here is actually splitting. The glue was not significant enough. I'm gonna just take all this downstairs. We're gonna get on that bag. Me, I warm up pretty slowly, so we don't need to take everything. All right. I warm up pretty slowly, so I do intermittent stretching. The worst thing you can do is to start engaging in high intensity exercise without your body being loose and warm. Further, to engage in static stretching without your body being warmed up is also quite foolish. So you'll find a lot of these quote unquote personal trainers, they'll have you engage in static stretching when your body's not warmed up, which is why I would much rather take instruction from a professional athlete because I know their body has to perform at peak very often. So, they get the finest in, instruction, nutrition, etc. We caught up? Great. And by the way, shout out to Will McCoy for sending through tuition before we even got started. Adrian Mora writes, peace to the saints. Shout out to him for the support. Orion writes, tuition and peace. Peace to him. Shout out.
And while we're on the hand wraps, they're already half halfway gone on
Oh.
pre-order.
I think they're more than halfway
Yeah.
sold out. Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, we listed these for pre-order like 36 hours ago maybe, and we've already sold out 60% of the inventory. With most things I do, I'm not going to do a second run, so if you want them, now is the time. I guess I don't even really use my timer when I work out on live anyway, so I'll just leave the Cash App up so we can read those. All right.
Okay, we have McWalter Sampson. He said, what advice do you have for fighters on the shorter side and how tall are you? The Saints.
About 6 foot flat. Fighters on the shorter side, my first piece of advice is to make sure that you're as slim as possible. The most difficult thing in the fight sport is dealing with someone who has good cardio and long reach. So if you're a shorter gentleman, you want to make sure that you're in the lowest possible weight class, because you have a fast fighter with a strong jab, you're going to have a very hard time dealing with them. Height is a tremendous advantage in this sport, so drop as much weight as you possibly can to fight at that low weight class. That's the most important thing, number one. And then number two is you want to have excellent head movement. That's really going to take you to the top of the sport, because long fighters are going to utilize that jab, which is a jab is a distance finder. A jab is something to set you up for other things. And so the more you can use that head movement and footwork, you're going to be in good shape. But you have to be able to close distance if you're a shorter fighter, meaning you have to fight with your legs and be able to close that gap pretty quickly. Shout out to Rudy Tellisford. He sends through Cash App, writes peace to the saint. And what you'll notice is that I don't even put on my boxing shoes until I'm well warmed up, you see? Because I got a whole number of stretches to do. And I used to hit the heavy bag for way too long, but your wrists are going to pay the price. Being that I hit the bag every day, I try to nowadays limit it to no more than 4 to 5 rounds on the heavy bag. Another thing about mindset, when you're going into any situation, whether it's a physical, mental, or spiritual situation that'll be challenging, I always like to run through in my mind the anticipated challenges, because as you know, if you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And in a sport like this, we know that there will be challenge, shall we say. So I always go through what the physical issues will be that I anticipate. You have to give us a moment so that I can get my gloves tied up. So we're just going to hold that. Appreciate it. Yeah, and for those who have never trained in boxing, it's kind of hard sometimes to find a proper boxing gym. Some of the title boxing gyms are more oriented toward females who might want a good workout, but they don't want to do something that's too rigorous. I highly recommend that if you do train in boxing, you go into a gym that has a boxing ring in it. And if there's a boxing ring, that's the telltale sign that this is a place where you have some serious fighters. Further, you want to be cautious about trainers who are willing to put you in the ring too soon. You got those old school trainers who are of the mindset that you need to get punched in the face to understand the sport. I don't agree with that. My trainer, which was Ivan Calderon in Puerto Rico, he's a former world champion, and he was wise enough, even though I was very excited to get into the ring, he was wise enough to keep me out of the ring for 6 months. So I trained for like a whole 6 months without ever striking a blow on another human being. And that's important because this sport is extremely difficult, though it may look easy from the outside. In fact, there was a sporting organization that ranked the difficulty of sports, and boxing was ranked #1, which is why you saw Nate Robinson, the NBA athlete, who was a fine athlete in the NBA. He went into the sport of boxing and he was brutally knocked out. And of course, it was very embarrassing, but potentially permanently damaging because of the brain injuries that can occur in this sport. So I recommend you be very thoughtful before you hop in here like this is a game. This is a blood sport, and people do die.
Do you have a Cash App? I think it came through.
Do I? Can you scroll down to make it refresh?
Did you read this one?
Will McCoy? Yeah, I did mention Will McCoy earlier. He actually did it before the session started, so shout out to him. So right now, I'm literally just about to start working up a sweat, getting loose. I'm not going to throw anything hard. I'm not going to throw any combinations, really. I'm just going to move around a little bit to relax the body. And the important thing with boxing is breathing. When people end up out of breath, it's usually because they're not breathing. People tend to be very nervous in a fight, or even when they're training, they forget to breathe. And that's why they end up so tired. This not only happens to amateurs, also happens to professionals. When you're on the bag, people usually forget to fully extend. They also forget to use their feet. When you're boxing a human being or you're throwing a punch, they're moving away from you. So when you throw that jab, you should really be moving forward with it. Every punch you throw, you should be moving forward. So using your forward movement, your slips, also using your lateral movement. So people get really lazy when they're on the bag.
We have XT Life now, sent me a super chat. He said, the thing is, how long have you been boxing and what got you into boxing?
I think, man, at this point, I don't even know, maybe 4 years? I got into boxing because I was living in the island of Puerto Rico, doing business there. And boxing, like basketball, is extremely popular. And even more so, it's actually free. So you can walk into a gym in Puerto Rico and train in boxing for $0. And I absolutely loved what Mayweather was doing in the sport. And so I figured I'd walk into a gym. I never looked back after that. Peace to the saint. Me, when I'm training, I always try to double up. I often fight tall guys, even in the gym, just because what people don't realize, when you're in a boxing gym and you spar, you're going to spar guys who are larger than you, taller, smaller, what have you, and it's hard to reach people. We can all throw a punch, but to throw a proper punch and be able to have the footwork to close that gap quickly, it's going to require you to double and triple your jab. So when I'm training, I always double and triple the jab, you know. And I often try to start out of range, which is realistic, right? When that ding ding goes, you're out of range. And then I try to come into the range, right? And right now, being that I'm not in boxing shoes, I'm trying not to do too much. Another thing, when people are on the bag, they tend to not throw punches in bunches. You really have to train the instinct to throw punches in combinations or in like bunches of 5. So I always try to make sure I'm doing that. But the most important thing is I'm really thinking about distance, footwork, things like that. Like me, I often tend not to fully extend my right hand because I got an injury. And so, you know, I favor it and I fail to throw it straight. So I'm always thinking about that when I'm training, making sure I'm throwing it with proper form. And it's also easy to forget to use your head movement because no one's throwing punches back, right? So you end up straight up, which is a terrible thing. We caught up?
Yeah.
Peace to the saint. Truly appreciate it. Now, a good combination sounds like one impact on the bag. Speed kills. So you always would prefer to throw fast than hard. Like right now, I'm starting to work up a little sweat. This is perfect. That's when I start stretching. I always hit a butterfly stretch. The hips are often very tight. For me, also when I meditate, I'll get into a stretch position, hold it for a long period of time. Breathing in and out through the nose, for me, that's the best thing. I try to do it throughout the entire workout. That's how you get the most air in. Obviously, as your wind starts to break down and you get into exhaustion, you might start breathing in through the mouth. It's less than ideal. When you unhinge the jaw to breathe in or out through the mouth, you're susceptible to having your jaw broken. Clearly, right? I cannot emphasize the importance of stretching in every sport. Hugely important. We caught up? Fantastic. The most important time to exercise is in the morning. Exercise releases endorphins, makes you feel good, makes you optimistic. At the very least, if you don't have any disabilities, you should exercise first thing in the morning. If you're really living at least 2 times a day. Right now, I'm putting together a meal plan of the foods that I regularly eat, which are mostly prepared at home. With the good fortune of having Bridget, Missy, individuals who help me keep my diet in line. But I eat a lot of raw foods, which makes it easy to maintain a diet. First thing you can do is to consume fast food, consume sugar, consume drinks other than water. You need to be very thoughtful about what you put in your body as well as the portion size. Smaller portions better. Before exercising, I like my stomach to be empty. You know, when you go on a real rigorous workout, you end up vomiting up that food if you didn't give your food enough time to digest. So I highly recommend that you don't exercise any sooner than 2 hours after you've eaten. You keep some liquid to, replenish yourself during your workout. It's not actually necessary. What I find is that it helps you recover better when you keep that hydration in the body. The key is not to drink too much water. I remember my football coach in high school, he'd say, water makes you weak. People be trying to guzzle water during practice or during the game. And I know what he means. You start feeling those cramps in the stomach, things like that.
Okay, we have Jeremiah Roseborough. He sent a super chat. He said, keeping your eye on Tiger, also staying COVID-19 and sucka-free salute.
Shout out to the saint.
We have Justin sent a super chat. He said, thoughts on shoulder fatigue when punching. Peace to the saints.
A lot of it comes from not stretching and getting loose, and you should continue stretching during the workout. And then B, it's like you're training. It's like, are you training hard enough to be prepared to fight as long as you got to fight? That's the thing. Yeah, and you really gotta play how you practice. Like right now, I'm not going hard because I don't have my shoes on. But when you are training, you want to throw fast, always fast. Like you really want to snap the jab out. And when you're snapping it, those hips rotate. Make sure you don't get your feet too far apart because then you're off balance and you can't counter, right? Like my jab is probably a lot stronger than most people's, so I like to throw it. But I hold on to this one because this is the killer. You know, and the thing is, if you're really shooting your shot straight, they shouldn't see this one coming. Jab blinds them. Whoa, came unloose right there. Let's go put the shoes on in a sec. Can you clip that back on for me? It was on the waist. There you go. Thanks. Here's a good exercise I use frequently. This one, I think you already saw me do this one. You gotta get those shoulders loose. Also stretch out the wrists. And the funny thing is that the body is so interconnected that the more you hit your back stretches, all these different stretches, you're gonna feel better. Like for me, what a lot of people might consider a workout is just me warming up, just me getting ready to work out. Another tip on breathing, because human beings, the modern society, do not breathe the correct way. You really want to be breathing in a way that makes the stomach expand, not the chest. The chest should not rise. The stomach should go out. I'm tripping. I should have put my shoes on. Yeah. Since you can't do it today. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna just untie real quick. You have to retie me, if you don't mind.
Fasting chef sent a super chat. He said, "Peace to the saints. Do you fast regularly or just when cutting weight?"
Peace of the saints. I fast when I'm cutting weight or when I am, trying to come up with an idea or trying to, get into a spiritual state, or when I'm working way too hard and I forget to eat, and for some reason I don't have Bridget or Missy around and I do it on accident. Shout out to the fasting chef. I surmise he likes to fast. We have to find a mic that we can mount without a shirt on, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. And the reason I got my pants pulled up is because when they're all the way down, generally you can't get a good stretch in pants. From now on, I'm going to just be producing workout shorts, not joggers, because the stretching is so key. I think joggers are more so for style than actual true fitness. And shout out to the saints who just bought the hand wraps. I saw that before I even got on the live. One of the saints that went and purchased the hand wraps. And the other thing I like about the hand wraps is they're conversation starters. I can't tell you how many women have come up and say, "Oh, do you box? I've been wanting to try that. Like, can you teach me something?" So it's pretty cool in that regard. And life is always better together, right? Building good relationships, meeting people. My hands feel great, Bridge.
Good.
Yeah.
Don Julio just bought his pair.
Shout out to the saint. Absolutely. And you know what? When you get your hand wraps in the mail, you get your train on, shoot a pic. No homo. Shoot a pic. We want to see you getting that grind on with that sweat built up. Absolutely. Yeah. That's all good. Yeah, now we about to get it in, you dig? Yeah.
Okay, we have Clinical Shot sending super chat. He said, "Peace to the saints. Knowing what you know now, would you have still chosen boxing over any other fighting sport that can be used in real situations?"
Absolutely, because boxing is the highest ticket sport. That's why you have the likes of a Conor McGregor coming over to boxing. He got his biggest payday ever. The highest paid athlete in the world is often a boxer. And so that I like about it. Further, one can't really be 50-0 in MMA. There are too many different types of strikes. Conversely, boxing being more of a sweet science and having a limited number of strikes, one can go undefeated. You can even have a boxing match, many boxing matches in which you come out looking good enough to go straight to the club. MMA, that's not so often the case. It's quite brutal and it doesn't pay as well. You know, boxing historically is a classy affair. People go to the boxing match in suits and bow ties. You've got legends in boxing, Muhammad Ali, Frazier, these kind of guys. But you don't really have this same level of, you know, class and history with MMA. Let's get this working. You see, self-talk is so important. You know, before the workout, I was telling myself, acknowledging that I'm not in elite shape, I've fallen quite far. I was telling myself, like, all right, Marquett, you got to get it in. It's going to hurt because you've taken too many days off. But as they say, when you catch one bird, you're letting another bird slip. And recently I've been focused on the bird of the finances, and it's been going pretty well. Not without setback, but life is success mixed with challenge. So now I'm a little bit more warm. You know, I've stretched out my arms. Now I can go ahead and put on my gloves and my shoes and really go at it with proper form. Before I was just hitting the bag just to warm up. So you don't want to start wailing away at it while you're still tight. Another thing I encourage you guys to do is, you know, if your favorite fitness coach is not doing live sessions, you don't really know what he's capable of, and sometimes what happens is that you get false expectations. You know, you might be thinking like, oh man, this dude does like 30,000 push-ups, when in reality he can only do 30 push-ups in sets of 10, right? So it's important to get a sense of what reality is, you know, before you injure yourself. I had to put this in my pocket. I had to put that in my pocket and zip that for me. Hopefully they can still hear me. Getting good hip rotation.
Yep.
One thing I love about that left hook is that it's a punch people rarely see, you know? I just like to go 1, 2, 3, pop it. And then after you pop it, step out of the way. You know, just pivot out of the way. It's a very small movement where, you know, 1, 2, boom, boom, pivot out of the way. They're still facing this way. You're still within punching range. And I like to hit them with that one in the stomach. If you can land all 5, they're going to fold. I promise you. And what you want to do when you're hitting the bag, take a little time off. You know, move around. You're not going to hit a human being 20 times in a row. So, you know, make sure you're, you know, different kind of looks, you know, doing some counters, keeping your hands up, then work around the bag, you know. You know, make sure you're moving with it. You never want to come only straight forward. Give them a different look, you know. Peace to the saint. Absolutely. That's the problem. You don't move your feet. You gotta take that last step. People often forget to practice their infighting, close quarters. You're right here. You gotta make sure that you're staying out of the person's center. You're off center so they can't hit you. Every time I step off, get some air. You feign them just to keep them away while you take some air. I like that right hand lead. You never expect that. They expect you to throw the jab. So, boom, right hand lead. Should we hit some pull-ups? No, I got it. Hey, how you doing, bro? Yeah. Yeah. Mostly at the gym. I spar one guy here. How about you? You ever spar anybody?
I think you might work for Jamal.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is not Jamal. Yeah. Oh, no kidding, you guys brother and sister. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah.
I was like, I always see him working out when I'm
But I was
downstairs.
telling him to come down and spar with you.
I think Jamal's a little lighter.
You think so? He weighs like 170 right now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, is he here right now?
I think you're taller. You're a lot leaner than him.
Yeah, I'm definitely taller.
Yeah, he's here. I'm telling him to come down.
Okay. How often does he get down from Miami?
So he was supposed to be out here for about a week, but he's been out here for about an hour. So
Word, I thought Miami was cracking.
yeah, but
She doesn't let him go out.
Feel you. He's too good looking to let him out.
yeah, that's what it is. So
Gotcha. Yeah, does he go to any gyms around here or no?
I think he just spars when like he just does like what you're doing right now. Like I don't really know.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
But
I think he's on my IG. Yeah, tell him to hit me up. We'll do something. There's another guy who I've actually sparred here. So yeah, we can get together, three of us, move around a little bit.
I don't do that kind of cardio. That's not my thing.
You just getting diesel out here?
I'm trying to.
I feel you.
Trying to get back into it. Corona kind of
Yeah,
gained that Corona weight right now.
yeah,
Usually I'm a lot, like I'm like 175, 180 lean.
yeah.
But right now, and then getting married and all that, that relationship weight.
Congratulations, that's big. Yeah.
It was in December, yes. So
Okay.
I got a little lazy and now I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you should mess with that boxing a little bit, man. I think you'll like it.
I've always wanted to. I've done jiu-jitsu, I've done like taekwondo, all that, but I never did any boxing.
Oh Oh, you got to see what that sweet science is talking about.
It looks like a lot of cardio. I have a friend who does it, and
Uh-huh.
he meets weight and all that. It's insane. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that's for me. Like the way he cuts, everything is just
Yeah.
every little water weight matters. Like it's insane. Like I'm like,
That's why I like the sauna and the steam room here. You feel me?
yeah.
Get it
He
off
always
quick.
loves it. Yeah, he loves that.
Yeah.
He's like whole suit, everything. Like I'm like, yeah, it's not for me.
What height is he? What weight?
I think he fights at like 155, but
Uh-huh.
like his walking weight's like probably 165, 170. Like,
Oh, it's not too bad.
I feel like that's a huge cut. I don't know.
Man, I did 20
I know
pounds.
there's people that cut
Yeah.
even crazier.
Yeah.
Cut down to
Like I've been kind of like 162, 163, walk around like 85. Yeah, so I don't want to do that anymore. Kind of takes too much out of me. After my last fight, which I won, I felt like I lost. It's just too much weight out. Yeah, but right now I'm getting back into shape, so it's be a good time for Jamal to.
What are you weighing at right now?
I like 179. Yeah. Yeah. What was your name again, boss?
Rafael.
Rafael Marquett. Nice to meet you. And Tatiana. Got you. Yeah.
spar with anybody or do box at all?
She sparred with me.
Together sometimes.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. She'll help me work on my head movement. Yeah, she's actually really decent for, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. She's really decent on everything.
No, not at all. I think I have hands, but I mean, I've never.
We can spar. We have 2 pairs of
I've never
gloves.
actually fought
We
anybody.
have balls too, but
Yeah, you gotta see what it do. It looks easy from the outside, right?
everybody thinks they can spar, exactly. That's why she said, I think I can spar.
You feel me?
But once you're in that moment, your heart starts pumping.
Yeah.
It's a different story.
You stop breathing, you get tired, yeah. You're throwing the punches from way back here. Yeah, on everything. Yeah, man, I haven't seen Jamal out here, but I also haven't been out here, which is why. So yeah, it'd be good to see him. Let him know. Yeah, I should be. So yeah, if I'm doing the right thing, I'll be here all the
I
time.
would love to see you guys spar. I really would.
She's supposed to say I'm good at that.
He been pissing you off?
I think he has hands.
Yeah, I would think so.
We'll see.
Yeah, he's a good-looking
I'm
kid.
not biased, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll move around a little bit. Yeah. Well, Tatiana, Rafael, nice meeting you. What you guys will notice when I'm doing my chin-ups is that I keep my body straight. So I'm getting a good ab workout from the straightness of my legs. And then the second thing is I don't do this. A lot of guys are doing pull-ups or chin-ups. They'll do this, trying to use the rhythm of the body to reduce the strenuousness on the arms and shoulders. You don't want to do that. It's a waste.
All right. We have this guy Brooks sent me a super chat. He said, tuition, just finished the book, made me dig into my box. Thank you. Just started working out. Any advice on ignoring the lazy voice in my head?
Shout out to the Saint. Appreciate the support with the black box. That lazy voice in your head has to be replaced by something. Whether you play a motivational tape, whether you wake up and look at your goals first thing in the morning, whether you think about your ex-girlfriend and if you're better than the new guy she's with, whether you think about the fact that you want to be a boxing champion or that there's so many other guys ahead of you, you should be asking yourself when you wake up, what will Floyd Mayweather do? What will Marquett Burton do? What would David Goggins do? And you need to get your ass to work, because at the end of the day, none of those persons are any better than you.
Okay, we have Tercel Cyber just came in strong with tuition.
Oh, shout out to Tercel. Yeah. Let me grab my phone just in case the cash apps are coming. Yeah.
Here we have Boy Noir just sent tuition.
Peace to the saints.
And we have Coscom sending super chat. He said, we said that love is a soft language and we should always ensure that it is the first language we speak in. How do you ensure this?
That's a great question. Now, the most important thing is mindset. This is something you should try to set first thing before you go to bed and first thing as soon as you wake up. You can do that with meditation. You can do that through writing. You know, when you engage someone with love, it changes the nature of the interaction dramatically. So there are a lot of times I've had conflicts that didn't have to be conflicts, because sometimes when you engage people with love, it just melts everything else away. Like, for example, there was a time a female was getting hysterical with me, a woman I actually knew personally, and I just hugged her and squeezed her real tight, and she went from hollering to crying, and it just changed the nature of the dynamic. You see, it's hard for people to fight against love unless they're truly wicked. Most people, when they see that you're giving them sincere love, they're going to cool out. But most importantly, love is a very attractive thing. It's basically what everyone in the society is pursuing. It's the reason you got 90 Day Fiance and people give up all of their money in search of love. So love is what a P uses to be able to get people to go out and work for them. So I highly recommend that you use that. And I'm even glad you asked that, because it reminds me to put that first and foremost.
And his last name is Sieber.
I don't know if you got to put his whole government out there.
He said it. I said it wrong.
Oh, okay, got it.
Jay Babb sent a super chat. He said, dropping by for the podcast while I work.
Shout out to the saint. And you'll see this is another stretch that I use right here. So I hold my hand, lean my head to the same direction as my head. It stretches the neck. And me, when I work out, I damn near work all of the body, all the critical areas, as though I'm not going to work out tomorrow, right? You have to live in that moment. When you're in the gym like you'll never be in the gym again. You should do this with everything in life. When you're interacting with someone, hyper-focus, like you're never going to talk to them again. Caught up?
We are caught up.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, shout out to the saint. Zachary writes, I work a lot. Going once a week to train. Is going once a week to train worth it? Zach, appreciate the tuition. Once a week to train, if you mean you're only exercising once a week, is it worth it? Yeah, it's better than nothing, undoubtedly. If you're saying you can only get into the boxing or the jiu-jitsu gym once a week, that's one thing, but you should be exercising every single day. There's no amount of money that's worth your health. Health is wealth. Health is your life. If you don't have health, you have nothing. So trust me, you will age faster if you don't work out. You will be less attractive if you don't work out. There is enough time for everyone to put in at least 30 minutes of sweat equity every morning, investing in themselves. Caught up?
We're caught up.
Great. Another thing to point out with the chin-ups, full extension. You see I'm doing full extension. I'm coming way down here, going all the way back, keeping the body isolated, increasing the rigor on the target muscles. That's a hugely important thing. And another thing with Zach, the question he asked, we can't play tricks on ourselves. We can't play games with ourselves. Everyone has time to work out. Everyone. And in fact, when you work out, you get an ROI on your time that'll help you produce in other areas. Your mind will be clearer. Another thing that you'll notice is that throughout the workout, I'm breathing deeply, filling up the stomach, especially during the workout, whether it's the eccentric, whether it's the pull or the release. You got to keep breathing. Caught up?
We are.
Fantastic. All right, great. You have to do the exercise to failure. I'm not ashamed. It's easier to get to failure. If you're not exercising to failure, you're wasting time. When I'm in Miami, I see the cutest people in the world working out. You see guys jogging with their dogs, wearing hats, not even sweating. It's cute, super cute. But you gotta go to failure, or else you get no gains. And you keep stretching the whole way through. You also got to engage in muscle confusion, which is to say for each muscle group, you want to hit 3 exercises.
KJ Babs in a super chat, he said thoughts on intermittent fasting.
It's cool. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think it's like a magic bullet. I think small meals, many small meals a day with the proper nutrition is going to nourish your muscles. And that's what you really need is good nutrition. I think often we're looking for things that will accelerate our growth or fast forward the results. But the only thing that really exists is hard work, dedication. That's really it. Dedicated to do the work consistently. Hard work, willing to push it to the limit, push it to failure, push it to embarrassment, to go the extra mile, do the things other people don't want to do. Mindset is a big place to start. The saint earlier had asked about that voice in his head that says stay in the bed, when in reality, that's where your workout starts, is here. People talk about nutrition, which exercises, but they forget to talk about mindset and conditioning the mind, the most important weapon and resource. This might look like I'm resting. What I'm actually doing is stretching my hip flexors. For me, the hip flexors get very tight, especially as I used to have a football injury.
Okay, we have Sosa Bang sent a super chat. He said, peace to the saints. Will you ever get into wrestling in the near future, or is that something you don't have the desire to get into?
If he's talking about pure American wrestling, I've never had the desire to get into wrestling. I also don't particularly like the outfits, jiu-jitsu, BBJ. I appreciate it as a discipline, but no, I probably won't get into it. So right now, from the chin-ups, I can feel burn here, shoulders here, the biceps. I'm going to do some curls to double down on this. We get 3 exercises for each muscle or muscle group. Let's go. And for me, being a fighter, having to stay within a weight class, I'm not trying to get big, so I don't lift heavy. Heavy weight, low reps, that's for size. That's for growth. Lower weight, high number of reps, that's for endurance and leanness and getting shredded, which is more so where I'm focused. So, I might take some 30s. You feel me? If I get some 30s, I'll do it at the same time. I'm still stretching because I'm not finished stretching. I don't even consider any of this my actual workout. Because a boxer is a cardio machine. Speed kills. Fighter is about speed, being elusive, being like a shadow that can touch you when he chooses, but not be touched.
Okay, we have Dominic Sethman sent a super chat. He said, formerly known as the Transcendent Diver, peace to the saints.
Shout out to the
Any
Transcendent
advice
Diver.
on staying motivated when inspiring to reach a long-term goal? For example, starting a new business venture in uncharted lands with a small budget.
The key to staying motivated and being happy is you have your big goal, you set milestones. As you achieve your milestones, you celebrate. Milestones should be defined in two ways. The primary way is outcome. So if you're building a business that's big, you still have to take some small first steps, whether it's getting a manufacturer to produce a sample. That's an outcome. But to achieve that outcome, you should have a milestone around output, meaning that you send in 23 inquiries to manufacturers to get your sample produced. So you celebrate the achievement of those milestones because surely they build up to a bigger goal. So you will constantly feel like you're making progress because you're hitting discrete steps.
Okay, we have SB23 sent a super chat. He said, actually went to look at a boxing gym today. We'll start tomorrow, God willing. Been soaking up the game for some time now and starting to act. Peace to the saints.
Peace to the saints.
Sounds like he needs some Satan's in her hand wraps.
Yeah, he definitely gonna need them hand wraps. True indeed. Yeah, and they look beautiful too. Like if you've seen fighters on fight night, this is exactly what the wraps look like. Even though those are gauze and cast and tape, this is the same form. Guess I can take this out of my pocket now.
Yeah. Okay, we have Thames Apollo sent a super chat. He said, how's your boxing going, Marquett? Any fights coming up for you? Blessing to the saints.
You know what? I'm about to look into getting one scheduled because I've gotten out of shape because I haven't had that driving force of a fight coming up. So I need to make sure my license and medical is current, and then I'm gonna get back at it. And I can feel my arms are destroyed right now because I've been out of working out rigorously for so long. So this is great. And you always gotta have something to drive you. For me, actual fights.
Kid Cool 1827 sent another super chat. He said, peace to the saints. What do you do to resist the urge to eat foods that may be counterintuitive to a diet plan? For me, working out is easy, but eating clean consistently is my biggest challenge.
When you work out rigorously, your body will start to reject the foods that don't fuel you. So when you get serious and you're doing 2-a-days, 3-a-days, your body will require fuel. Your taste palate will begin to reject empty calories, sugars, and things like that. That's number one. Number two, your grocery shopping matters. If you eat at home, that's going to help. But here's a big pro tip. I always travel around with healthy snack bars. When you make bad decisions, it's when you're hungry and your palate desires sugar because it's a quick punch of calories and energy to rebound you. So I make sure that I'm always with some healthy snack bars that I can consume so that I never get hungry and desire to get a quick burst of energy or rush from candy and sugar or foods that you might find at a fast food place. And then also you should be drinking water constantly. That even reminds me, my mouth is super dry right now, but I'm gonna pretty much keep it going. Yeah, in a sec. Caught up? Good. But shout out to the saint who got his membership to the boxing gym. You know, he will find so much solace in this fight game, especially if he finds a proper trainer. It'll take him to a whole new way of living and being. And there's no higher level of confidence to walk around with than being a fighter. Like my muscles are failing right now. Like I can feel the tightness, a level of tightness I've not felt in a long time just because I haven't been working out. And it's disappointing, but it's also inspirational because I'm getting back at it. And all you can do is work from where you are today. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Yesterday doesn't matter. Only this moment.
Okay, we have Haas Thompson, another super chat. He said, forgot to greet you, Marquett. Peace to the saints. What would be a smart way to monetize automated social media bots? I'm looking at Twitter and Reddit.
So I assume he's saying that he's creating automated social media bots and he wants to sell them to perhaps people who want to become influencers, things like this. That's my assumption. I think those things are a bit short-lived because obviously these platforms are constantly creating ways to block bots, AKA spamming automation. So I probably wouldn't necessarily invest in that kind of an idea. You really want to think long-term if you're going to take all the time to put your capital and energy into creating something. Unplug that. See, Saints, my failing has been that I've just been going hard on cardio. I've been neglecting the muscles because I haven't been fighting. And so I've been getting incomplete workouts. And I've paid for that. I can feel it. I have to take off the shirt because too much sweat on the skin. It's not healthy for my skin. Are critical, especially for a fighter. That midsection, that core is important. I took a ball over here, a heavier ball. See this ab machine only goes up to the 8 pound, when the 8 pound's not heavy enough. So I got one more bicep exercise I want to do to hit the bicep.
Okay, Anthony Husband sent a super chat. He said, should a boxer work out every day?
Most boxers I know work out 6 days out of 7. So on that 7th day, they'll do maybe a little bit of cardio, just a little bit of rope. Me, for the mental aspect, I like to work out every day. So I recommend it. You're not going to kill yourself, especially if you're stretching. You caught up?
We're caught up, yes. We have Lee E just sent tuition.
Peace to the saints.
And then we have Jay Babb send another super chat. He said, just booked a new 1.5-hour consultation for next Monday. I'm ready to have my new pitch deck roasted. LOL. Speak to you next week.
I look forward to it. Those are my favorite ones when I get to talk very specifically about a business or an idea. And especially when the guy has the pitch deck ready to go. I know he's serious and he's thought out things in a linear way. And by the time we're done polishing it, you got something that's going to take you to the next step. Business is an iterative process, which is to say that step by step you get incremental improvement, better understanding of your customer, a more polished product that you can present to investors. So I'm looking forward to it, J Babs. And also, I guess it'd be considerate of me, if you want to book a consultation, you can do so at thesasson.com/consultation. So that's THESASN.com/consultation.
Okay, we have Lee E. sent another super chat. He said, peace to the saints. Curious, when did you adopt the clean lifestyle and why? Thanks in advance.
If you read The Black Box, my book, I pretty much always had a clean lifestyle in as much as I've never drank coffee in my life. I've never drank any alcohol in my life. So never used drugs in my life. So I've pretty much always been free of intoxicants. And then I stopped drinking soda at age 16. So, it's pretty much been most of life. And that comes from me having observed people suffer from putting poisons into their body, whether it's drugs or otherwise.
Lee E. came in with another super chat. He said, by the way, got the black box, going to start reading it tomorrow.
You know what you think, Saint. Thank you for the support. If you got it on Amazon, do write a review. We appreciate it. This ball doesn't go to this machine. I just wanted more rigor in my ab workout. I think that might be too much weight overhead for the lower back. Who knows? And stretching the lower calf. Again, for me as a fighter, I view cardio as the most important thing. So all of this weight training and strength training is just a warm-up for my rope and my job. That's the way I think of it in my head. some jump rope. My shoulders feel tight, but I feel overall loose. We've not come out with a rope, but you for sure got to get you a rope. I take this everywhere. I haven't messed with this rope in a while. It's good to get back at it, but we're like old friends, you dig? You ever have an old friend that when you see him, you just go back to being good friends? Make sure you're all caught up on your side.
We're caught up on my side, yes.
Fantastic. And Saints, remember, this is a slow workout. This is not a fast workout I'm doing. I'm just getting back at it. Skipping rope makes me happy.
Okay, wait. While you're skipping, I have a super chat for you. Dominic Sethman sent another super chat. He said, "Peace to the saints. Any advice I can give to a friend that's stuck in a bad marriage with children?"
Wow, that sucks. Well, marriages, children, very serious. Because of that, I would need more details. The real question is this a marriage that can be healed? That's question number one. If it is, we have to talk through some details of what to do. If it's a marriage that cannot be healed, strategy number one, how are you going to protect your assets as you exit? Wishing him well. Another thing with the skipping rope, you guys probably often start skipping rope and you make a mistake. It's gonna happen. When you stretch, so much easier to keep your rhythm. When you're loose. People often don't realize that skipping rope, small steps, no more than 2 inches off the ground. It's mostly in the arms and the shoulders that you skip rope. This is a great rhythm and timing exercise. If you're not the fastest boxer, this helps you get timing. Timing allows you to land a punch. Timing allows you to counter punch. Really into this. The sound of the rope is like music. It's a rhythm.
I could feel that.
Like I'm missing a stretch.
It's upstairs.
Cool. A little bit of running. I guess I'll take this. You take this.
Okay. This one didn't work yesterday, actually.
I forgot to change shoes. Just run a quick little mile and I'll change shoes. Just thinking, just fighting in my head. I said, just fight. You know, dancing around, visualizing myself being immortal, not getting tired, looking at the other guy's face, thinking, oh, you're getting tired. I'm just getting warmed up.
Okay, we had Edwin Bernard sent 2 super chats back to back. He said, I went to the gym today, had to get spiritual with squats. And then he sent another one. He said, good night and peace to the saints. Okay.
What's your favorite, and you can think of I can make it out of what you think that is a good song.
Don't forget that other box is over here.
What's that?
That other box.
Louder?
The other box, the audio box.
So usually I work out with music on things. So I love to see somebody. It's a beautiful thing. It makes me want to get it in more. It's like music, you know, sound of that heavy bag, sound of the speed bag. I love it. Change shoes, running shoes.
Whereas at stating the art of the suburbs,
Thank you.
just is just good. Without the manager at
in Miami.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, baby? How you feeling?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Good to see you.
So you enjoying Vegas too much, huh?
Yeah, I love it here. I love the king out here.
Yeah. This is home for you, right?
Originally, yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up.
I mean, it's not the same weather as Miami, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Not the same weather, not the same women, but it'll do, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a long flight too, so it kind of makes it.
Yeah.
Once I come out here, I'm like, oh, I just stay out here, have some fun, and then because I know I'm not gonna want to come back out here.
I understand. Good to see you out here getting some work in.
They told me that they saw you earlier. They're like antagonizing you. Or something. Sorry. Are you gonna be going to Miami anytime soon?
Currently, no plans. My boy Jabrizi's out there right now, though. Yeah, I think he's out there doing some work. But not no plans as of yet. These are a good running shoe, barefoot shoe. So you see the soles are very thin, so I can get it on the ground. Get back up on the bar. The bar needs me. The bar wants me. I feel lighter and lighter. Let's see what we got on here. Oh yeah, people. They like the workout. It's beautiful. There's nothing like getting it in. If you can play head games with yourself, you get more and more energy as it goes on. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I think about when I'm working out? I think about the other person getting tired and me smiling. I love when I see the other person getting tired. Probably did the bar, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
We're gonna do it again. You gotta love the bar. You gotta push the body to failure. It's our second time at the bar tonight, and now this last set we go to failure. I can feel the set I just did was it getting toward failure. And this is the failure. It's funny, you can see my sweat on the bar. You see that?
A little bit, yeah.
Disgusting. all I could give on the bar today.
You already did a whole nother set before
No,
that.
no, I did the whole set. So we got 3 exercises on the bicep. Failure. Running.
Okay.
Let's do some more running. Since there are no questions, I guess I'm putting on a little bit of headphones, huh?
If you'd like.
Let's see.
You carried them over here with the box, the audio box.
Oh yeah? I'll have to find it later. I don't want to lose my sweat.
Oh, you put it over here on this counter.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep getting it in.
Real quick, you have Tercel Sieber who sent a super chat earlier. He said, do you eat pork or beef?
No, sir. I had some filet mignon tonight, though. And it's beautiful because it's a very lean meat. So it feels good. When I work out, I can feel everything I ate. I can feel each individual food. And that lean filet mignon, that feels good. So don't eat too much of it. These are tripping. Only one has been working.
Again?
Yeah. Yeah, only one. That's some bullshit. Get these fixed.
Yeah.
If anybody produces wireless headphones, holla at your boy, I'll buy a pair. Yeah, boxing's a cardio sport. Somebody with superior skill means nothing if you can exhaust them. Fight with your legs, fight with your mind, fight with your hands, fight with everything, and don't stop until you win. That's the thing about focus and fitness. You do it alone. That's why I like boxing. It's just one man in the ring. You don't go in with a team. You just go in with yourself and that voice in your head. If the voice is weak, you will lose. If the voice is strong, you'll always win. You ever get that feeling you could do something all day? You ever get that feeling that you won't get tired? I got that feeling right now. I think I'm just waking up, just warming up.
Okay, Amir Beltran sent a super chat. He said, tuition, I'll certainly catch the replay. Peace.
Peace to the same. lot of guys don't realize what they can achieve with a very high quality diet, small meals. Takes the fat off of your muscles so that the muscles shine through. Cardio is key. Cardio is spiritual.
I don't think they realize that you can answer questions during this.
Right. 1 minute back.
You have the stamina to do it. Those hand wraps look good though.
If you sweat like I sweat, you're for sure gonna want to hit some water every now and then. Muscle confusion. tries, flies, chest, 3 different exercises. Try not to take too much time in between exercises. That's muscular failure. That's what you're going for. You're not supposed to be looking cute in the gym. You're supposed to be getting it in until your muscles give up on you. That's when they're being torn, building new.
Okay, Tercel Sieber sent another super chat. I believe he missed your original answer about whether or not you eat pork or beef. And then he just said, so he eats beef and not pork. I think he wants to know, like, the reasoning.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat a lot of beef. It's pretty heavy. When I do eat meats, I like to eat them earlier in the day so my body has more time to digest while I'm active. Pork I don't mess with. It's a very fatty meat, and for other reasons. Beef, when I eat fine cuts, Kobe, Wagyu, filet mignon, things like that. So be careful when you're ingesting heavy foods, because the way I think about my meals, I want them small enough that if I just ate, I can get up and be active straight away. Those meals should be really small and lean.
Okay, Christian Kane sent a super chat. He said, much love, Saint. What are your thoughts, opinions on veganism, plant-based diet for health purposes?
There's a great fighter, Bernard Hopkins, who I believe is currently a vegetarian. When he was fighting, he said he couldn't sustain fighting peak shape on a vegetarian diet. That makes perfect sense.
Okay, Dominique Marcel sent a super chat. He said, peace to the saints, as you were, sir.
Peace to the saints. I want to get in one more ab workout.
Okay, we have Chris Aceves sent a super chat. He said, hey, Saint, been a minute since I visited the channel. It's good to see you striving. Keep it up, man, and good luck with whatever you got going on.
Likewise, appreciate that, son.
And then Anthony Husband said, how detrimental can a poor diet be in boxing?
Extremely detrimental. A poor diet will make you gas out more quickly. In the fight game, your air is everything. Heavy food will make you slow. People don't realize you consume a lot of water, that'll lessen your hunger. Make sure you're constantly eating throughout the day, small meals. You won't have that hunger that makes you make bad eating decisions. And if you actually compete and fight it, you get to that point of exhaustion where you can feel everything you ate. If you eat rich foods or spicy foods, you'll be belching and your food will be coming up the wrong way. You feel it in your throat. You'll find out which foods are good and which foods are not fuel. Your body will tell you. too much setup. Elbows are ready. Come on, clap. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Sweaty. Elbows are hurting on the steel. Last set.
Coach is putting you in. Go.
Huh?
Coach put you in.
Okay, coach put me in. Do some triceps there. Why not?
Okay, Curry Goodwin just in a super chat. He said, "Peace to the Saints. Just got into boxing. How do I build stamina quickly?"
Work out every day. Do 30 minutes of jump roping. Run at least 3 miles. And I think that will start with it. Breathe in and out through your nose when you're doing all of your activities. There's also no practice like fighting. Even if you're doing light sparring and you're just reaching out to touch the person, that'll make you move. And enjoy yourself. You guys see that? I would call that hard work and dedication. That's the recipe to success.
Even if they haven't noticed, you've been working out for 2 hours.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with doing stretches multiple times as your body warms up. Your looseness is key.
Curry Goodwin, who said the super chat about getting stamina for boxing, he said that he sucks at the rope, but he's practicing more.
Everybody sucks at the rope when they start. Keep on with it. 30 minutes a day, every day. The rope will become your best friend.
Jabrizi just came in strong with the super chat. He said, "Peace."
Peace to the Saints. Shout out to Jabri. I know Jabri's getting in better shape too. He getting yoked up. get some water real quick. 2.5 hours in, you lose a lot of water.
Not yours. Honey, can you financially support him? Are you getting better, buddy? Happier?
When you are ingesting water during a workout, you don't want more than the amount that would fill your mouth, or else you'll start cramping.
We have Cool Coley sent a super chat. He said, Saint, how do I overcome fear?
You don't overcome fear. You just begin to enjoy it. It doesn't go anywhere, it's always there. You just enjoy it. And you realize you're not going to die. None of the things you're scared of will kill you. And you become a hero by surmounting fear, whereas it may freeze another man or cause them to flee, and you run toward it.
Okay, and then we have Sincerely Jesus sent a super chat. He said, what is your take on meditation?
Well, meditation is critical. That's what I'm doing right now. Meditation is so important. That's when you program the mind. Meditation is when you engage in that self-talk, when you're in silence. You hypnotize yourself, you program yourself for success. I think it is the most important thought work that you can do. When I meditate, I usually get in this following position in which I'm actually stretching the hips. And I stay there for about 5 minutes and just think. Flatten your toes toward the earth. Just get real still, real quiet, breathe deeply, and think through your goals. Let your mind roam. I think we've done enough for today.
Yep.
I got the steam going on the pool. It's beautiful. Now remember, when you finish up with your hand wraps, doesn't matter what kind of wraps they are, what brand, you always want to hand wash your wraps. Always hand wash. And these wraps are great because I use them when I'm lifting weights, protects the hand, and it's great because you can wash them, unlike gloves. So I just unroll mine like this. Quite simply. And then when I hop in the shower, I get some of that peppermint pimp. Use that peppermint pimp soap. I just wash these bad boys by hand. And then hang them out to dry. Use them again the next morning. Just that simple.
Okay, Jabrizzi came in strong again. He said, it's an honor to see another warrior going hard in the gym.
Shout out to the same. And I believe, I don't want to say the wrong date or time, but I heard that Jabri was being interviewed today on YouTube. So if you haven't checked him out, check him out. As you know, Jabri is also on YouTube, well over 250,000 followers. That's my partner, that's one of the loyal saints, you dig? So it's always good to see the saint coming through to show support. That's the thing about real community, is that you show up for one another, you support one another. And that's why this is an actual community, whereas you have other putative philosophies, putative groups, and they really aren't a group. I feel good, I feel relaxed. I feel like I can still throw hands, you dig? And that's the key.
You want me to go get my gloves?
Oh, you ready?
Yeah.
Let us go ahead and end this the way we always end this, with the creed of the assassin. Repeat after me, knowing this is true of you wherever you are. The creed of the assassin. I'm going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable, and I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am. Peace to the saints.